straight to the top. As I will stay steady, I won't ever stop, 'cause I was born ready. I'm going straight to the top. I'm going straight to the top. I'm going straight to the top.
Hello, welcome to Virtual Flight Diaries live stream with the Pilatus PC-24. I had some very high hopes for this. It was one of the planes that I was looking forward to in the simulator. And unfortunately, when the simulator dropped, it was broken. They attempted some updates. Now it seems to be working. It's still broken, but it's flyable, so we're going to fly it. So we're here in Tasmania, and we're going to do a mock run of something that the Royal Flying Doctor Service would do. I didn't have a livery for the plane for the Royal Flying Doctor Service, so that's why I didn't quite advertise the stream as such, but I am going to be using their call sign. I was going to be using Beyond ATC, but I switched over to Say Intentions because apparently Beyond ATC you need a parking spot, and this airport that we are in does not have a parking spot. We are in Longford, and this is Longtown Airport. And we're going to be heading up to Bankstown in Sydney. Now, normally a flight like this probably would go to Melbourne, but I wanted a little bit of a longer flight, so that's the only reason we're heading up to Sydney. So we're not taking a critical patient, just an ill patient that needs a specialized treatment that they're getting in Sydney. So let's pull the trucks, let's get on board, and let's fire this up, and I'll show you some of its quirks, and hopefully it doesn't break on us. It's pretty breezy today. Before I took the pitot covers off, they were flapping pretty good in the wind. So we would take a look. We got our patient on board. Our paramedic and patient family member, and we're going to head up to Bankstown and get them the treatment that they need. Alright, so to start this up, there's some things you got to do. For one, the circuit breakers are pulled for some unknown reason, so you got to set them. And I want to make sure my controls are all bound up right. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Alright, so I bound this to a toggle switch because, for one, you can't really use it in flight. It's especially if you have the auto throttle on, which is also pretty broken. But I use it for landing to help stop the plane. But yeah, if you have the auto throttle on and you throw the speed brake out, if for some reason it thinks it's starting to slow down, and it slams the throttles into full. So, alright, so let's fire that up. So we're going to get the batteries on. No smoking, seatbelt signs. We'll turn the cabin lights on just to give the paramedics some, the flight doctor and paramedics some light. Beacon could come on and nav lights could come on. That switches backwards.
TAWS system test. Okay.
So we'll get that up. That looks good. Get the barrel ref. Alright, so we'll fire up engine 2. Now the reason we fire up engine 2, although it's not modeled, is this plane doesn't have an APU, but it does have a plus there's no sounds for startup. There's barely any sounds there's no sounds for idle either. So we got some issues. But so this engine has a computer control that you can set it to a pre-idle, and it'll run at like something like 70% of idle just to keep the engine running, but you can then draw power from it like an APU. That system depth is not in this plane. This plane's barely functioning. Alright, starting engine 1. Just watching all that come up. It's all computer controlled, automatic. So a lot of other things are broken. The flight model is just above garbage in my opinion. I need breakaway thrust is almost 50% power. Yeah, but like I said, it's flyable. So I've been putting a couple hours in it. You know, you work around its quirks, but it's a little immersion breaking in my opinion. Generators could come on, 2 good engine starts. Okay, so now flight plan. I have not figured out a way to manually put in a flight plan. So there's 2 ways that I've been able to put in flight plans. One is through, both are through the EFB, but one is through Asobo's flight planner, and the other one is through Navigraph Charts, which now has a new interface, and I'll show you in a second. So we're going to import their flight plan from SimBrief. I got Longtown to Bankstown. Load that in. So let's see, we'll select the RNAV, Rasco. I have not done an RNAV approach in this thing yet, so hopefully it's not too bad up in Sydney. Alright, so once you get your flight plan in, you can go to export, and it has an option. Load as an active flight plan. This will affect in-game ATC and avionics. It's in beta, but I haven't had a problem, and it's been really the only way to, well, like I said, other than the Sobo flight plan, to get the flight plan in. So now we're all set up. Alright, so move down here. I have full fuel because this thing, it reminds me of when 2020 launched and the citation longitude would just cook fuel. This thing does the same thing, which is not realistic in any capacity. Another thing is that the environmentals don't work, including the cabin pressurization system. The only thing that's good is, I want to activate that. The only thing that's good is that it doesn't scream at you that your cabin is not pressurized. So that is that. So let's get the transponder up and I'll see if I can get a clearance. Center, Flydock 676, request IFR to Bankstown.
Flydock 676 cleared to Bankstown. After departure, fly radar vectors to LT, then as filed. Initial climb 8,000. Departure on 123.8 squawk 2342. Released for departure. Clearance void if not off by 0525 Zulu. Time now 0510.
Good to Bankstown. After departure, fly vectors LT, then as filed. Climb maintain 8,000. Departure on 123.8 squawk 2342. We're released for departure and our clearance is void if not off by 0525 Zulu. Flydock 676.
Flydock 676, read back correct.
Alright. So our transponder is 2342. 2342. Enter. Put it on comms. Alright, so there's no way to activate this. It's in ground mode, so there's no way to activate it on online. So don't know how good that's going to be for VATSIM, because most airports want the transponder on the ground. So I don't know, unless it reads it as on. I have not flown this on VATSIM. I don't think I will. It's pretty busted. Alright, so our initial altitude is 8,000. Get that set. And there's a taxi on, and we're good. Let's get out of here. So a lot of things are going to ding coming off. No matter how you set the plane up, it will tell you that it's not a takeoff config. So another bug. Okay. That is way too much power for breakout. what's really cool about this plane is that
would like to climb to cruise altitude, please.
it is designed for off-field grass strips, dirt strips. It's really cool, and hence why I really wanted to wanted this plane. That no, for lack of a better term, I'm a Pilatus fanboy. I love the PC-12.
Climb to 15,000 feet, velocity 123.
Velocity 123, expect the ILS runway 12 approaching to Hobart, all 3, Alpha arrival. I'll get you started on your...
Longtown traffic, fly dock 676, taxi to runway 33.
And on the Wilco, velocity 123. The Melbourne subject tonight flying through cruise altitude, please. Velocity 123.
Velocity 123, climb and maintain 15,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 15,000 feet, velocity 123.
Contact Lonnie approach on 8.
It's so cool that you can see your tracks. All right.
Wilco, velocity 123.
All right, so
Climb to 15,000 feet.
turn that down. That's a little loud for me. All right. Sound the brakes. Let's run them up. Toga. So this thing, I'm guessing on all the takeoff speeds.
Velocity 123, contact Lonnie approach today. On decimal 8, okay.
V1. Stall speed in this thing is supposed to be 90 knots. Alright, so and give up.
Overspeed.
Flight Ops 676, radar contact. Over Longtown Airport at 1200 feet. Heading 333, QNH 1009. Cleared, direct LT.
Clear direct LT, fly dock 676. Alright, so let's get the autopilot on. Flight change. Nope.
Fly Dock 676. Contact Lornie, approach on 123.8.
Switching to Lonnie approach on 123.8. Flydock 676. Lonnie approach, Flydock 676. Afternoon. Climbing past 5,000.
Flydock 676, Lornie approach identified. Good afternoon, QNH 1009.
Departure 8 Charlie Golf.
Okay, 318. Charlie Golf, Lornie approach, radar contact, clear direct Morgo, climb 9,000.
Morning departure, code 8318 Charlie Golf, with you at 2,000 feet on to 4,000. Continue to 4,000, 8 Charlie Golf.
Flydock 676, Lornie approach, climb flight level 250.
Climb flight level 250, Flydock 676.
Gotta kind of stay ahead of this thing. And, it'll overspeed. You can overspeed the flaps and everything. So it's some climb power. Doesn't help that I kept it in toga. Alright, so lights off for both
Friendly approach, I'm ready for descent. Velocity 123.
Velocity 123. Descend and maintain 5,000. Turn left heading 120. Vectors for the RNAV runway 30 approach.
So, I mean, for the most part it works. You have to get around, you have to learn its quirks. Which means when it gets fixed, you're going to have to relearn how to fly it. But at least it's flyable. Because before any of these updates, it was just, you couldn't, the switches worked. I don't know what the heck they did. But I mean, it's beautiful looking plane, but you know, it's by Coronado, so we all know Coronado is really good at modeling, just not system flight model.
Flydock 676, contact Melbourne Centre on 123.35.
Contacting Melbourne Centre on 123.35, Flydock 676. Melbourne Centre, Flydock 676, afternoon. Climbing through flight level 130 up to flight level 250.
Flydock 676, Melbourne Centre, identified. Good afternoon.
So I think the power curve, however they coded it, is a little on the other side of that bell. So you need a lot of power to taxi, and then when you go to full power, it seems to be overpowered.
Flydock 676, Melbourne Centre, climb flight level 320.
They just need
Climb flight level 320,
they need to
Flydock 676.
they need to tweak the model. Now I'm wondering if they're gonna do what people did with the longitude. I'm sure it's locked right now, but there was a flight model tweak in 2020 for the longitude. Fix the fuel burn, flight dynamics. That's what this needs. So I'm going to put the auto throttle on in cruise. That way I can show you guys what I mean about the auto throttle being broken. So it kind of wants to hunt, which doesn't help for the fuel burn. So if you're going any kind of distance, I want to say you're going to have to try to give yourself full tanks. So this has a useful range of 2,000 with 6 passengers. You're not achieving that. As far as I know.
Climb flight level 360.
Climb flight level
Not in its
360.
current state.
Fly dock 676.
Up to 360. And it's finicky. Like I said, I fingers crossed, like it glitches out. I'm really hoping that it doesn't do that. And I think all that might have to do with the Sobo's stupid wasm. But all the complaining aside, we do have a PC-24 in the sim now. So much like Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, when it's working, things are good. Like the sim is beautiful when it's working. So we've got about an hour. About an hour.
Flight up 676. Climb flight level 400.
Climb flight level 400. Fly dock 676.
Turn right heading 155. Vectors for the ILS approach. Jetstar 123.
Of course, like all
Jetstar
business jets,
123.
it kind
Contact
of,
Lonnie approach
it's
on
got a service ceiling
123.8.
of 45, flight level 450.
123.8. Jetstar 123.
So you guys, if you're planning your flights, you really want to try to get up into those levels to help with the fuel. I mean, if they would model this thing would be amazing. And I really do think, because there's got to be people out here that love these type of planes as well. That they'll do a fix. Somebody will mod a fix. And who knows, there's supposedly in the new year, and the first week, there's going to be a big update coming to the sim. So maybe they'll fix some more of this stuff. I really do love flying in Australia. It's a neat area to fly in. The only problem is I wish the sim had more resources for you guys. I did notice that there's more airports modeled than in 2020, but Navigraph hadn't caught up. It took me probably 2 hours to figure out where to fly based on content creation, because I wanted to, knowing that I had to plug in the flight plan externally, I needed to be able to build my flight plan in Navigraph. I don't like the onboard flight planner, although there's a lot more to it now than in 2020. It doesn't do the routes very well, and your auto gen route is horrible. When I was planning the holiday live stream, which unfortunately never happened because of other problems, but I had done the route through Sobo's flight planner, and I auto-generated the flight route, and it sent me 4,000 miles out of the way. So then, I mean, you can manually plug in your routes, so I just don't find it intuitive enough. Plus, I like doing my flight planning offline, out of the sim.
Good evening, Qantas 118. Melbourne Centre, Qantas 118. Request descend to flight level 200.
But unfortunately, if you're going to fly this plane, though, you don't have Navigraph, you're going to have to use the EFB, the online or the Sobo flight planner. Because unless it's user error, and I just haven't quite figured it out yet, but I can't figure out a way to manually input the flight plan in. Also, I can't zoom this in and out, so it's stuck at 20 nautical miles. Which is just a convenience thing. I mean, it doesn't... I'd like to be able to know a little further out, like when top of descent's coming, that kind of thing. It is a fast jet. I mean, we're going almost 450 across the ground. Of course, we have a good tailwind, but another thing you don't want to do is, because you can't program the FMS, you want to take it out of FMS hold for auto throttle, put it into manual, that way you have control over the speeds. Otherwise it's stuck at 140 and it'll just screw things up.
1531, contact Melbourne Centre on 135.8.
125 this way, direct 215, 216.
The model looks great. See, another thing is, I think a lot of the things I'm noticing is that I think they copy and pasted PC-12 code into this plane. Which I don't understand why they did that. Or maybe they did it because it was easier just to start as a base, but they left some of that other code in there. So like all the V speeds are for PC-12. And
Flydock 676, contact Melbourne Centre on 135.8.
Contacting Melbourne Centre on 135.8, Flydock 676.
And its
Melbourne
stall
Centre,
speed is
Flydock
all wrong.
676. Good afternoon, we're climbing through flight level 350 to reach flight level 400.
Like we saw in
Flydock
takeoff, I was
676,
doing
Melbourne Centre, identified. Good afternoon.
almost 130 knots, and it was giving me a stall warning on a shallow climb out when the stall speed of this plane is 90, 92, somewhere around there. At 130, I should have been able to really climb out, but I wanted to give you guys the whole picture of this plane. Like I said, it's flyable, but it's got quirks, so that if you fly in this thing and you don't understand that it does have these quirks and bugs, you're going to get frustrated. So I've made adjustments. You know, I approach at
Velocity 1531, Melbourne Centre. Good afternoon.
140 knots and then just manually slow down right before touchdown, and it's worked out for me. So just gotta like relearn. Don't go by the specification, the real world specs, and just learn how it is in the sim, and you'll be able to, to fly it. And I know they wanted to put the Primus system in, That's what these displays are. Because the real aircraft runs with that. But that system is very, very in depth, and it doesn't do it justice to surface code it. You know what I mean? We get up here and cruise. We'll do a little cabin tour. Cabin's modeled very nicely. The business class one, the VIP version, is just really nice. I have not looked at the cargo version though, but I imagine that's just plain Jane. There's probably, you know, nothing in the back. So I turn the auto throttle on, and you'll see it'll start hunting, powering up, dropping down, powering up.
You at flight level 330 for 350.
Which then starts slamming the fuel, you know, the gallons per hour.
Center, good morning. Stephen Swan, flight level
Pounds
400.
per hour. Which then eats the fuel up.
Center, identified. Good afternoon.
If you manually control the speed, take it out of auto throttle and kind of like operate it like it's the Lear or the CJ4 or the, you know, the CRJs or any of those planes where you manually control the throttle. Although it's very sensitive, you can dial it in and it holds it a little better and it's a little more stable. You could probably squeak out those extra couple hundred nautical miles if you manually control it. Well, we have plenty of fuel for this mission, so I'm gonna, because it's finicky, you gotta be all over it. Let's see, it's bouncing up to full power. Yeah, and then it'll drop back down. That can't be real. I mean, I'm not a real world Pilatus pilot, but that can't, it just doesn't seem right. I heard this thing's really good in career mode in the cargo missions. You can do those longer cargo, higher paid cargo missions. So that would be a good thing to use this for. You know, get around its quirks. Use it in career mode. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my career mode. I kind of really screwed it up. I might have to redo it. If I even go back to it. I've been doing free flight a lot. There's one thing I haven't done is I haven't gone back to 2020. As much as 2024 is giving me problems, it really is at its base level much nicer than 2020. That's a hot take opinion, but as I understand that some other people are having problems, I wish I knew how to help them with that. I don't know what their computer specs are. I mean, if you don't have a mid to high range computer, I don't think this is going to work for you. If you're on the lower side of mid range, I think it's just not gonna. It's not gonna, you know, the system is the game isn't gonna work for you. You know, I'm running it on medium to high. It still looks really good. I can't go on the high to ultra like I had set up in 2020, which is odd because this was supposed to be better optimized. But I'm running a 3070 Ti, so the guys running on ultra have like 4090s. So you can see we've used almost a third of our fuel. Oh yeah, and that's the bug. So it's not showing up any cabin altitude. So what I think happened was I think this is just my guess. I don't know for sure, but I think they couldn't quite figure out how to code it for the update to do a code fix, so they just shut it off. So it's not screaming at you. Or it's not giving any CAS message. There's no checklists available in the system. There's a checklist on the EFB. None of the systems here really work. They work good enough. Alright, so let's take a look at the cabin. I think some would say that it's kind of cartoonish, but it's definitely got that Coronado sharpness to it. Crystal glass. doctor and paramedic here. How's our patient doing? Doing good? Yeah, we're just coming back here to check things out. Yeah, so the PC-24 is great for the Royal Flying Doctors operation because it can actually take on 3 patients at once. Yeah, don't worry, sir. We'll get there safely. First officer always looks nervous. Like, sit back, relax. One plane I really do like flying in the simulator is the DC-6. You guys haven't seen my live stream from Friday. We were touring around Corcovado National Park down in Costa Rica in the DC-6. It's decent. It's really, it doesn't have very. Actually, I haven't found any quirks with it. But I've been slowly checking out all the planes in the simulator. The paraglider is actually kind of fun. Especially if you got an area that's like really good photogrammetry. Touring around in the paraglider, taking a look at taking the scenery in is really good. Another plane that I've tried the gyrocopter. That one I don't get too well. I mean, it flies. I've done the 404 Titan. That's a pretty good one. It doesn't have. That's also by Coronado, I believe. But that doesn't have any quirks that I've noticed. The Beach C90 is fun, but I believe it's underpowered by like 60 knots true. I haven't taken any of the other, like I haven't done the Beach Baron. Haven't done, I've done the 408, and that's got too many bugs. At least, maybe it's user error, I don't know. Some people are really liking it in career mode. But I can't seem to get some keybinds to work in it. I haven't checked out the System 2.8, but I've seen some streamers using it, and that seems a little bugged as well. The A28 Comanche works. We'll be flying that later. I don't know if that's going to be... I have the stream scheduled for tomorrow afternoon, but I might do that one tonight.
Melbourne Center,
That'll be a fun
Infinity
one.
987, flight level 312.
The
Infinity 987.
Avro
Melbourne
RJ
Center, Roger.
is nice in the sim.
Melbourne
The Phoenix aircraft work really well. For me, and I haven't quite figured it out, and I don't know why
118 Melbourne Center. Good afternoon.
some people aren't having any issues with the Any Builds planes, but I am. When I, not necessarily using them like to do a flight, but if I leave out to go to the menu, even to like say I wanted to adjust some settings, when I hit the escape button, it just freezes the whole thing. Like dead. I have to go into Task Manager to shut it off. So I don't know what's up with that. Because they worked for me when the sim first dropped, but when we got that first update, they broke for me. I know I do see some people using them, some content creators are using them, and I've asked, and I don't know. I can't get a clear answer because it's working for them, and I get that. If it's not broken, you don't know how to, you don't have any solutions. So, I went on Any Builds
Flight
forums.
676, Melbourne Center. I'll start your descent in about 20 minutes.
Any Builds is saying it's Flight Sim's fault, and Flight Sim's not saying anything. So they are, our I Builds is aware. So I guess more than just me are having the issue. They're saying it has to do with the WASM coding. So we'll just have to wait as the updates come. I'll try it out. Keep going, because I wanted to stream the A400. That was an interesting aircraft, but it broke for me before I could do it. And the A300 is in the sim now. Any Builds, popped it over, and I can't use that one either. So. But for Monday night stream, I still up in the air about what we're gonna fly. I don't know yet. We haven't done some Airbus in a while. Maybe we'll do an Airbus run on VATSIM. But we'll see. So the Comanche stream I have planned. So I did a stream where we flew from Kingman, Arizona to Sedona, and we did it all conventional, all VOR to VOR, and it was a real simple flight. Pretty much straight across. So
Melbourne
I have
Center,
planned
Qantas 431, flight level 360.
Qantas 431, Melbourne Centre identified. Good morning.
a longer flight through several VORs, and so just to show a more complicated navigation, VOR to VOR. Should be a lot of fun. one of the things, and I was surprised at it, is that the VNAV actually somewhat works. I mean, it's not crazy accurate, but it does kind of keep you on a profile. Which, based on everything else, I did not think that was going to work. Excuse me.
Descend via the Lizzie 9A for the visual runway 34 approach into Melbourne. QNH 1029, Qantas 118.
Qantas 118, descend and maintain flight level 220.
Descend and maintain flight level 220, Qantas 118.
Qantas 118, descend and maintain flight level 170.
So we lost most of that tailwind. So this stuff works. So you can plug this in to your FMC. So if there's like a change, it does switch up on it for you. But I can't. So it is working title that runs this. Okay.
Transair 181, Melbourne Centre, good afternoon.
does also give you a crossing for top of descent, so some of it works. Working title needs to make an update, I guess, to get the rest of it working. I try not to play with it too much. I don't want it to break on me. You can see V speeds are a little low. These are more Pilatus or PC-12, I think. There's no calculators I could find to actually calculate a real speed, but based on the screwed up stall speed in the plane, I'm going to say that it would work anyway. That's pretty cool. So it looks like it recalculated the crossing for top of descent and adjusted it. Alright, so we're going to CB. So about probably 4 or 5 minutes to top of descent. This panel all works. So based on this fuel burn, with full tanks, it looks like you got maybe 1,000 miles of useful endurance, so that you have a reserve. Could probably stretch that to 1,200. Which is about, according to the specs, is about 800 to 1,000 miles short of its actual range. I should be able to take off from Philadelphia and fly to, Punta Cana in this thing, and it doesn't look like it's going to be able to do that. I'd have to
Fly
refuel
dock
in Florida.
676, Melbourne Centre. When you're ready to begin your descend flight level 270.
Descend flight level 270 when ready. Fly dock 676.
Good afternoon, Melbourne Centre, Qantas 118.
Melbourne Centre, Qantas 3067 with you at flight level 330 for flight level 030. Qantas 306.
So I'll show you guys in a second that how the VNAV works. So buttons right here. Turn it on. It'll go into V out mode, and waiting for V path. So when we cross top of descent, it'll go V path. So as long as you have a lower altitude set, it'll automatically start down. Kind of like the 737 does. See a little bird coming down. And we start right in on path. So one of the other things you want to do is when you're slowing down, you want to turn off the auto throttle. Because when you throw flaps out, when you put any kind of drag on it, for some reason the logic thinks the plane is slowing down and it slams the throttle to full. And you can overspeed everything. Where the auto throttle logic should up the throttle, yes, because of the drag, but it doesn't compensate for the drag. It just thinks that it should go to full. So that needs some work. No idle sounds. So I'm trying something a little different because it's tough to slow it down when you can't use speed brakes or anything like that if you're still using the auto throttle. So I'm trying to see if you can actually like slowly bring the speed back as we descend.
Qantas 3067, contact Melbourne Center on 119.5.
Contact Melbourne Center in 119.5, Qantas 3067.
So it doesn't look like that the oh, that's Rasco. I thought it said runway. Need new glasses. So that's our initial approach fix. So we need to be at 2700 at that at that. So a third of our fuel to go 500 nautical miles. So like I said, full tanks looking at maybe 1,000, 1,200 range. Alright, so we're tracking out towards Sydney now. And we should be on the ground in about 15 minutes.
Flydock 676, descend flight level 140.
Descending flight level 140, Flydock 676.
But, I mean, the VNAV is pretty good. I mean, I think Working Title was the ones that actually first got VNAV to start working in the sim. Because I think Working Title came up with it before PMBG. Not this sim, the 2020. We're getting a little high on profile, so what you normally would do was throw some speed brake out, but if you were to do that, it'll run it all, run the speed up. It wasn't too far off path. It got back on. Of course, this little experiment of mine with reducing the speed as we descend appears to be working so far. That way when we get into terminal airspace, we should be below 250. This way. down, still on profile. So we'll have plenty of fuel, if this is correct, we'll have plenty of fuel at our destination to facilitate a go around if we have to. Double check the chart. So 1500 is actually our 2500 is actually our mandatory intercept altitude. Looks like our barrow is 2992. I also don't know how to push it over to hectopascals, but I'm not saying that that's a bug. Just user error. Set the minimums. 580. I don't know if they use the wing lights in Australia, but throw them on for That's a nice view. Window shades do work.
Flydock 676. Contact Sydney approach on 128.3.
Switching to Sydney approach on 128.3, Flydock 676. Sydney approach, Flydock 676, evening, descending through flight level 130.
Flydock 676, Sydney approach, identified. Good evening.
It's real disconcerting that there's no idle sounds.
Flydock 676, Sydney approach, descend altitude 4000, turn right heading 090 vectors for the visual runway 29 center approach.
Descend to 4000. Right turn heading 090 for vectors to the visual 29 center approach. Flydock 676.
What is... So the winds are 150. Sydney approach, Flydock 676. Can we get the 11 center approach?
Flydock 676, turn left, heading 270 vectors for the RNAV runway 11 center approach.
Left heading 270 for vectors to the RNAV runway 11 center approach. Flydock 676.
Alright, below 10,000, so we can get the landing lights on. Put them on wigwag. Hopefully the real world matches the simulator's METAR, or we're going to have a little bit of tailwind. Not too bad though. Yeah, so you see power up, power back, power up, power back.
Flydock 676, turn right heading 090.
Turning right heading 090. Flydock 676.
Nope. Yeah, he still wants to land us on 29 center. Still coming down on profile. See how it jumped it? So you can easily overspeed.
Flight of 676, turn right, heading 115.
Turning right, heading 115, flight Ox 676.
Still wants to land us 29.
Sierra Mike, turning base, longitude 9 right.
SMM, roger, continue approach to Bankstown. Contact Bankstown Tower on 132.8 when established on final.
Calling tower at final approach, established, okay.
Any approach, g'day, velocity 5 foot tree with flight level 250.
Oh yeah, so I'm trying to see if we can keep the auto throttle in. Kind of come up a little system. So slowing down in our descent worked, and then waiting for the throttles to settle also worked. Is working, sort of. Don't know if approach will work. Yeah, see. I don't think it's going to do a couple bar nav. So we can go to our minimum. Using VNAV.
Flydock 676, turn right, heading 135.
See if that works.
Turning right heading 135, Flydock 676.
Alright, so the airport should be out in front of us, so flaps full. And I'll get the flight recorder on. Alright, so we're not coming straight in on the runways, that's fine. Fix that. I've actually never come in, I've never landed at this airport before. Disconnect. Some power in here.
Flydock 676, turn right, heading 150.
Right heading 150, Flydock 676.
Yeah, welcome to Bankstown. Does not have reverse. Still wanted to land us 29. Alright, clean up, flaps up. Flaps up, spoilers down. Landing lights can come off. Go to beacon. Wing lights off. All right. Bankstown ground, Flydock 676, taxi to the ramp.
Flydock 676, Bankstown ground, taxi to Park 41 via Alpha 7, cross runway 029 at right, then Alpha Lima. Good day.
Park 41 via Alpha 7, cross 029er right, then Alpha Lima. Flydock 676.
Stop the recorder. Needs so much power to taxi. This can't be realistic. So we'll just park up over here, offload our patient. Oh, by the way, let's see what our landing rate was. 129, 1.1 on the G-force. Not bad. Bounced a little bit because I was floating and I threw out the speed brakes to kind of just bring us down, so I didn't want to float the runway. This thing does love to float. As V1 found out the other day when he was landing in Cuba, if you don't just muscle it down, it'll float. And I don't think it's any error on our part. I think the higher stall speed in the flight model mixed with the ground effects, it just, because you have to come in at almost 140, or it just wants to stall out. You can see when I started dipping down into the 120s, it just wanted to sink right into the ground. So it's not pilot error, it's model error. Because this thing's supposed to come in at like 116. And crossing the threshold, touching down at 90. Alright, park up over here, parking brake on. Welcome to Bankstown Airport in Sydney. This is a fun little flight. Got our patient here. Ambulance is picking her up to take her to the hospital. And our mission's complete. So let's check out the replay. Yeah.
Bankstown ground to the active runway and hold point Alpha 1, requesting taxi to the hangar. Echo India Alpha.
Diamond Echo India Alpha.
So this is in the western, I guess, suburbs
Report when parked.
of Sydney. Sydney Harbor's out over here. So like I said, I got the air brakes on a toggle switch just to throw them out during landing. You can't use them in flight. And that's a modeling error as well. Should be able to put some speed brake out while you're flying. But it couldn't do a coupled RNAV, but keeping VNAV on and putting the decision altitude in actually looks like it worked. So that's the procedure for RNAV. Just keep it in VNAV path and put the decision height in the, round it into the autopilot. And we got to decision height and was able to take over and hand fly it in. Little pitchy. I did throw those speed brakes out. But that's a nice landing. Still all dirty from our field takeoff. I really do like this aspect of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. The dust and grime, the bugs that accumulate on the windshield. It's pretty cool. Alright guys. That's gonna be I'll wind this back. That's gonna be it for our live stream with the PC-24. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, helps out the channel. And we're still trying to do a push to 500, so we can get going and do some member stuff too. So, well, anyway, this was the stream, and it was fun doing it for you guys.
Okay, Mike Echo Charlie, did you get out?
More to come. Next stream is going to be the A2A Comanche with the longer flight to Rome, New York, and we'll be doing that on Say Intentions as well. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Virtual Flight Diaries. My name is John. Until the next one. See ya.
Couldn't find out.